Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 281 of your favourite Formula 1 show. Yes, it's Monday and we're back to normal service here on Knowing Wheel. Jamie has decided he's not going to go away this week, but he is deciding on the other hand he's still going to obviously spend... I'm going to claim it's taxpayer... Actually, I guess it is taxpayers' money because you work for the NHS. I pay
at what point does it become my money?
And it doesn't. That's the great thing about taxpayers' money. Because he's decided instead he's going to completely refurnish his penthouse suite this morning.
Brilliant.
He's got a decorator.
It actually isn't true.
Isn't it?
I'll tell you the truth. Our house was full of damp for a good year, probably from last winter until about 3 months ago, and then they've re-plastered and re-bricked the front of the house, which means it's no longer damp, which is great because my life expectancy is going up by the day.
Your life expectancy goes up 2 days every day. You're actually now immortal.
And we've currently got a load of plasterboard in the front room. So the decorator coming, he's arriving within the next probably 10 or 15 minutes. So some point in this show, I'm going to make Matt do some editing for a change.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not a fan of editing.
I'll just disappear.
Exactly. Yeah. So if Jamie randomly scampers away halfway through me talking about something and I don't realise for 2 minutes, I might leave it in the edit because that might be quite funny. Because the weird way we record these is obviously you guys can see Jamie and I. We can't see each other. We've still never quite figured a way around it. So we never actually know what's going on with the other one, which is quite. For all we know, one of us could have a silent death on the show, and just the other would never realise.
I feel like when you stop talking, I would assume something's gone wrong.
Probably,
but it would probably take me a couple of minutes.
Yeah, it would be quite interesting. I mean, hopefully we won't cross that bridge. But if we ever do, I'm sure if that episode got some views,
it'll go viral.
It probably would. Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously, Jamie, last week we spoke about a lot of different things. Obviously, during your return to the show, we have got a few bits to go through. Obviously, it is Monday morning when we're recording this video. Now, first of all, the McLaren and the Aston Martin reveals are both today. I think the McLaren reveal, if I don't mess this up, has probably gone live already. So, obviously, we need to kind of talk about that quickly, for continuity's sake. So
it's papaya. No way.
It is orange. Again, I can't believe it. Obviously, Zach Brown said, is this the World Champions hotline? And a lot of other cringe things as well.
Don't remind me of that.
Lando Norris has obviously got his number 1 on the car. So
don't remind me of that either.
What are we thinking of this new McLaren? It looks like a championship winner. It doesn't look like a championship winner. It's going to be good. It doesn't look that good.
I actually think Oscar Piastri will beat Lando Norris this season, and that's my bold prediction for McLaren because, I think the trajectory of their careers, obviously Lando has the championship that he won last year, but Oscar he went toe-to-toe for 2/3 of the season and was actually probably better than Norris for 2/3 of the season. So if he can just use that bit of experience of how the last third went wrong and channel and do a bit better, basically, then I think he can beat Lando Norris this year. I don't think either will win the championship, but we'll get to that when we do our predictions at the start of the season.
Yes, I mean we're less than a month away now, aren't we? I for some reason thought that Australia was on like the 15th of March, but it's actually on the 8th, isn't it? So we are literally under 4 weeks away now. So we've got to try and smash through these last few podcasts, which is going to be really, really entertaining. I mean, to be fair, last year I think even actually. Someone sent me a clip of my own video, I think from late 2024, and this was before Lando, I believe, had lost the championship to Max still. And I literally said then, I was like, I reckon Oscar can make a run for the title next year. And obviously, when the person sent it to me, they were like, Oscar still had quite a decent championship lead.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe this is on then. Maybe I look like an absolute genius. Of course, then absolutely fell apart.
Are you going to say the same of Antonelli?
Definitely. I think the big problem for Oscar, though, wasn't it, is he can't race far enough either side of GMT. If you push more than about 7 hours past GMT, he just absolutely collapses for some reason, either way.
I think it was probably more to do with the longevity of it. There was that great interview with, I think it was out of Qatar with Max, or maybe it was Abu Dhabi actually, where he was like a journalist was saying, why do you think it's kind of fallen away? It must have been after the title was decided then, actually, given that question.
I feel like I remember you saying this before the end of last season. If you're going to say the interview I think you're referring to.
Possibly. The one where it was like, Piastri said, well, every junior season has been 10 races at most. And then Max pipes up, if this season was 10 races, you'd be the champion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is kind of true because, F1 seasons are so much longer than any other junior category that it does take a while for you to adapt to having to be on your game for that long.
Yeah.
And you really saw it because, it was literally a flip of a switch after round 17, 16 or something. After Zandvoort, Piastri just completely collapsed.
Yeah, well, kind of, they had a bit of a wobble, didn't they, in Monza, obviously, afterwards, but obviously that was both McLarens, really. But Monza's just a weird little circuit, isn't it,
And the Red Bull was the fastest that week.
Exactly. But yeah, obviously, from basically Baku on, I mean, it was that huge knock of confidence, wasn't it? As we said at the time. I remember saying to you, obviously, because he had that huge crash in qualifying, and then I think it was one of his trainers who'd been with him for a long time. He was like, that's the first time in his career he's ever ripped the entire corner off a car. And then proceeded to do exactly the same thing on Sunday. Why do it once when you can do it back to back? And of course, that basically just completely knocked his confidence, then, didn't it? But obviously, you mentioned there about
Qatar for him to be good again.
Exactly, and you mentioned obviously there about obviously had the championship been 10 races long. I still think the maddest stat, isn't it, from last year is if you split it into 3 8-race seasons. Obviously, round 1 through 9 through 16, and then 17 through 24. Lando didn't win any of them. Lando only won the bigger picture, which is obviously all that matters at the end of the day, but still kind of staggering.
Yeah, it would have been, Oscar Max, wouldn't it, if it was that? Lando must have been pretty close to winning the middle of that.
He was close in all 3, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
He must have been close
in all 3. 10 race podium streak at the moment, which is definitely going to end in Melbourne.
Possibly. I wouldn't say most likely, but possibly. I mean, Melbourne is, again, it's such a huge test for these new cars, isn't it? Because obviously, we're talking so much about engine efficiency, and Australia is such a power track now.
Yeah. There's like 3 corners that actually have braking zones.
Yeah.
So, it will be very interesting to see. I think you get quite a good bearing of at least which engines are good. You might not get the aerodynamic efficiency given from, but we should have a bit of knowledge of that from Barcelona test. So,
Bahrain,
we'll see. Yes, I mean Bahrain. I forget.
I
was living in the past for a second.
Yeah, it is literally pre-season testing next week? This week?
Yeah. I think it's next week.
Yeah, so we are definitely getting there. Yeah, it's normally around my birthday, I think. So, it must be next week.
Good reminder to everyone to wish happy birthday to Matt next week.
I mean, like, someone said to me a few days ago, they were like, oh, when is your birthday? I was like, honestly, if it wasn't literally in my YouTube name, even I wouldn't remember at this stage.
Fair enough.
Obviously, we mentioned there briefly that the Aston Martin and the McLaren revealed today. We did get the Cadillac reveal overnight, Jamie. Of course, Super Bowl Sunday. It was the Seahawks versus someone.
The Patriots.
No, I don't think it was the Patriots, was it?
Yes, it was.
Was it the Patriots? Are they still any good, are they? I don't know.
Well, no, they're not. They haven't been in the final in like 12 years.
How do you know so much about American football?
I've got a friend who's into American football, and he was telling me about it on Saturday night. So, otherwise, I'd have no idea. I was going to try and stay up for it, but then I was in bed by 10:30.
I was watching the 2011 Canadian Grand Prix on Sky last night. Bit of casual Sunday night viewing. And he obviously came, you turn on the TV and he basically goes, na 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 na, like with all the Super Bowl music and everything like that. He was like, the show starts at 10 p.m. I'm like, I'll be in bed before that, thank you. Not going to be there, do not care.
Yeah, no, the Seahawks won.
The Seahawks did win.
But the bigger picture for our podcast was that the Cadillac livery came out at the halftime adverts.
Yes.
I believe, maybe not even halftime, actually. I
believe it was the halftime show, because that's like the big thing, isn't it? Well, I suppose actually the football game is the big thing, but then the halftime... Oh, no, because the halftime show's all the singing, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah. It's like a mini concert for like 15, 20 minutes. But have you ever watched Super Bowl?
No, it's on too late at night.
I watched it
Plus,
once.
I just don't care.
Yeah, I watched it once because I was a student and didn't have anything to do on a Monday. But
when
we'd already agreed to do this at 8 in the morning, I was like, well, I probably shouldn't stay up until 3 a.m. then, should I?
Well, hang on a minute. You're the only reason why we record this at 8 in the morning.
Well, I like getting up early and recording a podcast with you. So
exactly. I like hearing your voice first thing of a morning.
Yeah, it's how I like to start my week.
Exactly, and hopefully it's how you guys like to enjoy your week as well. I mean, we are rambling horrendously today, JB, by our standards. I don't know whether I like this livery. Number one, it's got AI slapped on it, and that immediately is negative points. Yeah. I just can't. It's basically tried to be the what was it? BAR 1999 livery. Yeah.
Wait, 99.
Yeah. I cannot work out whether I like it or not.
I think I like it, but I think I would like it more if it was the same on both sides.
But which side would you want it to be?
I quite like the darker side.
I see. I was going to say I quite like the lighter side. Ooh, this is the duality of Cadillac now, isn't it?
It's like left Twix and right Twix. Crazy. But
yeah?
Yeah. I think maybe like Star Wars, you could pick your side and, you know, whose side are you on? I quite like the dark side because I think it looks a bit sleeker. The light side reminds me too much of a Vodafone McLaren.
That's probably why I quite like it.
I like the Vodafone McLaren liveries, but you're not Vodafone McLaren, so do your own thing.
No, they might be more successful than Vodafone McLaren for all we know. Probably not.
Sergio Perez drove one of them and did absolutely terribly.
That was arguably the worst Vodafone McLaren, though, wasn't it? You would make a decent argument.
2006 was up there.
Yeah, I suppose.
But I guess the 2013 car wasn't quick or reliable.
No, exactly.
But at least the 06 one was in the running for pole positions and wins until it just broke down.
Yes, yeah.
But,
I just don't know, dear. I mean, where do you rank this over? I don't know what your ranking is for the liveries so far. Maybe that's a whole podcast we're going to do at some point.
Yeah, I would have to go and look at the other ones again to remind myself.
I still think my favourite is the Haas.
No, Haas is quite low down for me. I don't know why.
Shocking.
I've not seen them on track properly yet either because I didn't. Obviously, testing didn't have all the liveries out. So
no.
Yeah, I don't mind. I think it's quite a nice design. It's obviously sleek. It's quite simple in terms of color palette, just being very monochrome. But I do like it. But yeah, I wait to see it on track because I feel like it will be a bit confusing for like the casuals in the stands who, you know, I guess it's always the same side when you see it from one position in the stand. But if you keep swapping over camera angles, it will just keep looking like the car changes.
Yeah. I think people will probably get used to that fairly quickly. It's not like the BAR where it's two completely different liveries, is it?
Yeah, I suppose. They should have put a zipper down the middle, like the BAR.
Maybe they have. I've only seen it from the side profile. I don't know. Has it got a zipper on it?
Yeah, from the front, no. It looks quite nice from the front, to be fair.
Fair enough.
It looks more like an all livery.
Yeah, actually, from the front that does look. Again, it looks fairly basic, doesn't it? It's kind of like it's almost giving, you know, when Manor started to bring some decent liveries towards the end of their time in Formula One, and it's that bizarre thing of it's easier to make a car look good the less sponsorship you've got. Is quite often the case, isn't it? Because you can just focus on making it aesthetically look nice.
Yep. Everyone's predicting Cadillac to be last in the championship.
Yeah.
I think I agree with them.
Okay.
So.
I mean, they've really tried to underplay it as well, haven't they? But you've made a lot of... I think if someone had been noting down all your predictions so far, I'm pretty certain you're basically locked in before we even get to our predictions episode, which is quite funny. Like I said, I don't... Even if they end up last, I don't want to see them a million miles away from everybody else. The high likelihood is, obviously, that a team or a couple of teams are going to get quite disconnected from the rest of the pack, because that's just the reality. Of huge regulation changes. But it has been, I guess, obviously last year... I guess I say that through the Grand Effect era. Alpine fairly often got a bit abandoned towards the back of the pack last year. Sauber, of course, pretty reliably the year before that, were pretty disconnected from the rest of the pack throughout most of the season. So I guess
Williams
you've kind of...
down there a few times.
Yeah, I guess you kind of still see it, don't you, where one team does get a little bit left behind. But I think that's always the point, isn't it? Is we've kind of been a little bit lucky in the last few years because did every team score points in every year of this reg cycle?
No, surely not.
But 2025, obviously everybody did. 2024, Sauber did literally right at the end.
Maybe they did. I don't think Williams went a year without scoring.
No, I don't think they did because I'm gonna look at 2023. Haas got 12 points. They came last in 23. So I think every year of the Grand Effect era, every team scored points.
Which isn't that common if you look down the history of Formula 1.
Pretty unlikely, to be honest.
Yeah, every driver scored points in 22 full time.
Yeah, there you go. See? So, I kind of just always hope, because even if it's a team that I don't really like, I kind of still always hope that everybody has got a chance. It's always, if you don't score 0 points, like, why did you show up all year? Which is so brutal to look at, but kind of also true.
Yeah. No, yeah, it definitely is. But, yeah, we shall see. Obviously, the last driver to not score any points at all was Valtteri Bottas in the Sauber in 24.
Yeah.
He's also going into Australia with a 5-place grid penalty for taking out Kevin Magnussen.
Yep.
I think they'll both score points just because they're solid drivers, and
you're gonna get a few crazy It's the thing as well, of course, is the other big thing is it's gonna be races of attrition again potentially.
Yeah,
reliability isn't gonna be there from day one.
No, it won't be. And to be fair, Cadillac are probably the ones who are gonna have the most teething issues given they're a brand new team. But
you never know. There could be some really bad engines.
There could be, but Ferrari's probably one of them, to be fair.
Yeah, there's a fair chance, I suppose.
I don't know. I feel like both drivers... Often the drivers who score no points are a terrible card twinned with a terrible driver. Obviously, Bottas was an exception to that in 24.
But the thing is with Bottas in 24, there were quite a few opportunities where he should have scored points through his own skill. Rather than anything else.
Sauber just did 2-minute pit stops every week at the start. So
when Bottas was doing pretty well.
Yeah. So we shall see. I think I will put them last, and I hope you don't, because that'll be an easy couple of points for me when we review it at the end of 2026.
Fair enough. I hope that comes back to haunt you, but we shall wait and see when we get into our predictions. We've spoken about an American team then, Jamie. I'm gonna segue us quickly over to your quiz for today. It's a little bit of a different format I've decided this week, because every other F1 quiz I see is doing this as well now. So you have got to name me. You get 1 life if you get one of these wrong.
Okay.
You have got to name me the 10 most recent F1 drivers from North America based on their last start.
Okay. So North America, we're saying Canada, USA, Mexico.
There are other countries tied into that as well, like, the Caribbean and...
The Central American countries.
Not Central American countries, but like the Caribbean and a few of the other islands and stuff. North America isn't just Canada, Mexico, the USA.
No, but I feel maybe I'm an idiot, but I don't think there's any F1 drivers from like Bermuda.
That would be quite cool.
Yeah, I think I'll ignore. Well, I'll see what comes to me. Okay. I've got to get, so there's 10.
You've got to get the 10 most recent.
I've not got to get them in order.
No. You've just got to get the 10.
Okay. Sergio Perez.
Correct. Obviously, current driver as we head into 2026.
I can't. Can you tell me where they are on the list?
So obviously Perez I've got for 2026, so I've got him down as current. So obviously he's right at the top.
I want to say Esteban Gutierrez.
Esteban Gutierrez is 5th most recent. Obviously, last race in Formula 1 in 2016. That forgotten season with Haas. I
will also say Alex Rossi.
Alex Rossi is 6th.
Because he was a year before.
In 2015. Only raced a few times for Marissa towards the end of the season.
So there's 3 drivers between 2016 and now.
Yes.
Obviously, Logan Sargent.
Yes, he is 3rd.
I will say Nicholas Latifi.
He is 4th.
Canadian. Who?
Oh, thank you, yes.
Lance Stroll.
I was going to say, if you forgot Lance Stroll. Yeah, he is 2nd, obviously, tied 1st with Perez. So I guess actually he's 1st.
Top 6?
So you've got the top 6.
Okay. Other Mexicans or Americans? This is actually quite difficult from now.
Trying to do the research for it as well was quite difficult. This is what I was moaning about AI before I started. Because AI just churns out results you know isn't right. And I don't want to use Google's AI. I want to buy RAM.
AI doesn't know actual truth. It's kind of mad. If you ask AI to write you a quiz...
I'm pretty certain Elon Musk's AI just deliberately spreads lies, to be honest. But
possibly. This is actually quite difficult. I'm running out of...
You should be able to get all of them.
Thing is, someone like Jacques Villeneuve is probably not on the list. But he could be. But he's... Like, I imagine there's more than 4 drivers from North America since 2006. I'm going to take a bit of a gamble. It may be like he's 11th or 12th. I'm going to say Scott Speed.
Scott Speed is 7th.
Oh, he's 7th. That's like 2006 or 7, isn't it?
Scott Speed last raced in F1 in 2007.
I will also say Jacques Villeneuve then.
Jacques Villeneuve is 8th. Last race in 2006.
Wow. Okay. So have I got one between Rossi?
You have guessed the entire top 8.
Top 8? Oh my word! There's been no Americans in this sport. What the heck?
No. This is yeah.
So 9th and 10th, and I'm thinking like pre-05. Oof. This is actually not easy.
See, you've still got a life.
I have got a life, but I've not even got any names to kind of throw out, even older. It surely can't be like Andretti. That was like the 80s.
Michael Andretti is number 9.
Really?
Yep. 1993.
93 is 9.
Between Scott Speed and Michael Andretti, there was not a single American driver.
Or Mexican or Canadian.
Or Mexican or Canadian.
Or any other of those countries. 93 is 9th. Okay, so Michael Andretti. What about then? I mean, how far back does it go? I don't want to say Mario because he was literally in the 70s. This is
I'm going to give you a slight hint.
Okay.
The last one on this list made me chuckle because he has caught you out before, and it's not David Coulthard.
It's not David Coulthard's definitely not there.
It's not David Coulthard.
He's caught me out before. Is it? It's not Phil Hill. He was in the 60s. Is it Gilles Villeneuve?
That is incorrect, I'm afraid.
Oh,
Gilles Villeneuve, I believe, is 12th.
Okay.
He's 11th or 12th.
After the 70s.
Well, Gilles Villeneuve obviously died in 83.
Yeah. Okay. So what about... I'm sure there's an obvious American that I'm forgetting about.
There is. Because he's caught
early
you out
90s.
before.
Morbidelli is the one who always gets me, but he's not American.
He is not American. Gianni Morbidelli. Is he American?
It could be a Mexican as well. This is difficult. I don't want to say another Andretti because I don't think it is.
I'll help you out a little bit. It is not another Andretti.
Okay, great. I am going to kick myself, but another. I'm going to be so annoyed if it's someone obvious that I know. I'm just going to throw out a Mexican-sounding name and say Rodriguez.
You're just trying to be stereotypical. That is incorrect, I'm afraid, Jamie. If I told you he's American...
No, I was thinking Americans. It just wasn't coming.
Like I said, he's caught you out before on this show. I'm sure now you will remember the name.
What team did he race for?
Oh, I can't remember off the top of my head. If I told you his first name was Eddie.
Oh, Cheever.
Eddie Cheever.
Yeah, that's quite difficult. Yeah. He's a bit of an obscure one.
He's a very because he's kind of obviously you kind of had the high profile Michael Andretti's, your Jacques Villeneuve's, your Scott Speed's after him. He was kind of after kind of most of the Americans had gone back because American motorsport had got big enough that it was then a lot more sustainable for the US drivers to just stay in America and race from then on. Eddie Cheever was kind of that last of the old generation that would still race in Formula One. But yeah, obviously his last race was in 1986.
I'll take the top 9.
You did do very well there. He's one of those horrible ones, isn't it, where you're there going, were there more one-offs? Were there more stand-ins? But surprisingly not.
No, and Andre Lotto didn't make the list because he's German. So
I believe he's
Belgian.
Belgian.
That's always a good one. Is he Belgian?
I want to say Andre Lotto. He might be. I think he is German, isn't he? But obviously he raced at Belgium. Ignore me. Sorry, yes, he is.
That was right. Well, he raced is a strong word. He did one corner.
Yeah, but he did out-qualify Ericsson by over a second.
He did
on his debut. And Ericsson's won the Indy 500 since then. So
yeah, and he almost went toe-to-toe with Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, for about 3 races, and then Leclerc kind of worked out what he was doing.
Yep, he did. We've got some other rumour mill stuff to talk about.
We got drama to talk about.
Yeah, Mercedes-Benz, who obviously are the favourites going into the season. Have you seen it? Even Lando Norris is saying George Russell is the favourite, despite them having the same engine.
Yep.
But anyway, Mercedes have got this trick, people are calling it, where the ratio of 1:16. What is? I looked
fuel
it up
combustion.
Earlier. What is the
air to
fuel combustion?
Yeah,
air to fuel, I guess, or fuel to air. Yeah, there's 1:16 ratio, which is measured in a cool, like, room temperature. Mercedes have found a trick where when it gets hot, it expands, so you've got a higher ratio, which is obviously good for your power output.
I mean, it's not a trick in itself that when things get warm, they expand. That's just the reality.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
it's just how they've interpreted the rules, isn't it?
But people are, well, Red Bull and a few others, Aston Martin as well, are a bit upset that they
basically
have done
anybody
this
else that builds an engine.
I guess the rules are the engine must not expand before, like, more than 1:16. The problem is that it's measured at room temperature, so they're never going to measure it at hot temperatures.
No,
which means at hot temperatures you can basically do what you want because it's never going to get tested.
Well, I think the problem, of course, you've had is obviously, despite the fact Mercedes are a German team, obviously their entire Formula One operation is based in the UK. This is what Audi are going to have to learn, obviously, very quickly, is they're too quintessentially German. Formula One, when a rule is a rule, it's not really a rule if you can interpret it differently.
Yeah, but Audi have done motorsport plenty of times before, so I'm sure they already know that.
Yeah, but they normally dominate it by playing by the rules still. That's the thing with Audi.
Possibly.
They're just very technical with it.
Yeah, but Mercedes have found this little... It's not a loophole because it's
well, it is,
because
it's not how the rules were meant to be interpreted.
Yeah, I guess it is a loophole. It's a bit like the double DRS back in the day, isn't it? Where that was technically not the spirit of the rules, but they couldn't
double DRS, double diffuser, the F duct, everything.
Yeah,
it's what makes this sport
but
so
teams, the rumor mill was saying on Friday that other teams have managed to petition the FIA to change it. That's now not the case on Monday morning, and apparently the FIA don't want to change it because engine homologation takes place on the 1st of March, which is 3 weeks away.
Yep.
So it would be very unfair on Mercedes and any other team who's tried it, which I don't think any other team has succeeded in trying. It'd be very unfair for the rules to change 3 weeks before homologation.
Yeah.
Within something like engine regs that they've been working on for 18 months, probably.
Well, but this is the thing, isn't it? We basically, I'm sure Jamie's happy about this, but we've basically got petty Red Bull back, don't we? Because obviously,
I love it.
The rumour mill has churned out. Obviously, Mercedes have known about this for quite a while, and they've basically been focusing their engine development on fine-tuning this process. A couple of people then left Mercedes, went to Red Bull. Obviously, then, word gets out. It's just what happens in Formula One. If you're ever going to lose staff, someone else is suddenly going to have that secret bit of tech that you discovered.
Yeah.
But basically, Red Bull then obviously tried to do the same thing. Apparently just have not been able to replicate it, so then immediately have gone to the FIA going, well, this isn't fair. I can't do it, so they shouldn't be allowed. Which is just how Formula One works. Like, I'm not saying that's only Red Bull, but it's just how the sport works. If I can't cheat the same way as them, it's cheating. If I can do the same thing as them, then it's fine.
Well, exactly. This is why in 2009, when Braun and Toyota and Williams turned up with a double diffuser, everyone else, Red Bull again actually that time, were like, well, it's not allowed. And then when the FA said it is allowed, everyone starts developing their double diffuser.
Exactly.
So this is just what's going to happen. It sounds like if the rules are going to change, it will now be for 2027, which is very disappointing for all of the rivals of Mercedes. But it's good news for George Russell.
Well, yeah, it's very good news for George Russell, Andre Kimi, and to be fair, pretty much half the grid, isn't it, that have got Mercedes engines?
Well, I guess. Although McLaren, I guess everyone thinks Mercedes are favourites because you can develop your engine in tandem with the aerodynamics.
Yeah, exactly. Normally, during a new reg cycle, it is the factory teams that have the advantage. It's just what happens, isn't it? But obviously, again, it's kind of that whole thing of if they change the regs for next year... A bit like, obviously, DAS in 2020, wasn't it? It's kind of just a good, more recent example of nobody else is going to develop it, obviously, if you know it's only going to be relevant for 1 year. Which is obviously, what they did with DAS was basically, it's not going to be allowed again. Although there were then rumours, weren't there, a couple of years ago that Mercedes might have tried to figure out something else with it, and then that kind of quickly disappeared.
But it's very clever because if this engine ratio pressure is that much of an advantage. Mercedes have basically just walked away with the championship, and then everyone else will try and develop and focus all their energy on potentially getting good for this year. Meanwhile, Mercedes can just start focusing on 27 immediately if they've got a car that's so far clear. It's kind of why in F1 with reg cycles, generally the rich get richer. If you get like everyone, the good teams generally stay good for the whole reg cycle because they can always be focusing further ahead.
Yeah, it's kind of that thing, isn't it? Of still, because the weird way now the budget cap works is obviously still when we went into 22, the big teams generally still had a little bit of advantage because, of course, you were doing some of that research. You know, obviously, originally those new regs were meant to be 2021. Imagine if we'd never had 2021, Jamie.
I know.
Absolutely insane to think about, isn't it? But of course, obviously, effectively, you know, the big teams still were able to pour extra money into that early on, and you know, really, actually, apart from McLaren, because obviously in 2019 they still weren't really a big team again, were they?
No,
they were just a decent midfielder. They were
with
kind of
really
the
good
only
tech
one
in their working factory.
Yeah, they were kind of the only one that was able to bridge that gap properly throughout the course of the.
I think that's almost the problem with the budget cap. I mean, James Mowser spoke about this for Williams, but the problem is the big teams already have all of the tech and all of the high spec stuff in their factories.
Yeah. But other teams are allowed to start. They are allowing tolerances for that kind of thing.
But at first they weren't, which is why the teams. So Aston Martin, back when they were Racing Point Force India, basically just before the budget cap, invested tons in their factories because they knew it would be harder to invest capital investment.
You basically just sign a blank check of we're going to be spending this money in this amount of time. But effectively on paper, it's been spent today before there's a budget cap, which is quite funny. But
it's a shame, but it's good for the big teams, I guess. They'll be happy.
Well, the problem is,
power, usually.
At the end of the day, Formula 1 is also politics. You've got to keep a Ferrari happy. It's just how it works, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, Ferrari, Mercedes to a certain degree. Obviously, Red Bull, ever since they signed that Concord agreement first, have always been kind of put in better favour. Not saying the best favour or anything like that.
But they are liked, aren't they?
Yeah, they've kind of always been given a little bit more wiggle room, especially because they've got two teams as well. They've always been given a bit more wiggle room at the table as well. But yeah, it is going to be, because obviously when we're recording, we were literally trying to research this before today's episode. It's still not entirely clear whether we're going to see this either fixed before the start of the season, fixed mid-season, pushed back till next year. No one really knows. And this is kind of the bizarre thing, isn't it? When, you know, it's the first time since 2014 where we've seen engine and aero changes at the same time. Of kind of... Yeah. There's a huge lot of unknowns 3 weeks out, and this is just what Formula 1 always is.
Yeah, especially where stuff changes. Yeah. I would be incredibly surprised if it does change for Melbourne, because engines take so much development and so much time that changing a rule this close to the start of the season...
Yeah, what they should be doing is figuring out... A bit like when Ferrari had the fuel flow a few years ago, they should be figuring out a better way to measure this.
Yeah, but that would be the change that they would make, is they're going to start measuring it at high temperatures. But then that's not really fair on Mercedes, because they would then just get disqualified for misinterpreting the rules, I guess. But then maybe that's fair.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it is a fun one. You guys will have to let us know your thoughts and feelings down in the comments below.
George Russell will be in the comment section.
George Russell will be there, I'm sure. So.
Well, actually, I think it's within the rules.
Rule 17B clearly states that's what happens.
Yeah.
Have we got anything else to add, Jamie? Is your decorator arrived?
No, the decorator's not here.
Oh, there you go.
Unless I've just ignored him.
A workman who's running late, whatever next. Who'd have thunk it
well, that'll be me
morning.
in 2 minutes as well.
That will be. Yeah, I'm gonna keep dragging this out so Jamie's late for work as well. I'm already at work, so this is fine for me. Yeah. I was on time this morning. But yeah, thank you all, as always, so much for listening. If you have enjoyed, please make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed. Let us know your thoughts and feelings down in the comments below. Are we going to be back next Monday, Jamie?
Yeah.
Wonderful. We should hear from Jamie then. So yeah, thank you all so much for listening, and we will return very soon with more Knowing Wheel.